Hello and welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for this live presentation, the Time to Shine online webinar, which is going to be a wrap up of the 5-day online visibility challenge that we've just completed over in my Facebook group, the Confidence Hub for Heart-Centered Women Entrepreneurs. And we'll also be digging in a little bit deeper into the concepts that we did go over this past week. And of course, there will be time at the end of this webinar for a live Q&A, as well as a couple of great offers and incentives that are coming up. So be sure to hang tight. Before we begin, I have got to give a huge shout out to those of you who are joining me here live today, and for those of you who will watch the replay of this webinar at a later date and time, because this webinar is for you and is dedicated to you for being a part of the 5-day online visibility challenge. And I've got to say, you ladies have blown my mind with how brave and courageous, and I mean, it's been amazing watching you over the past week and seeing what you're truly capable of. And as the coach and as the leader of the Confidence Hub, nothing makes my heart glow more and nothing makes me feel more alive than seeing others come into their full potential and seeing what they are capable of doing. So this webinar is dedicated to you. Now, if you didn't participate in the challenge, that's okay too. You may have signed up for it and had every intention to, and perhaps life just got in the way, and that's okay. There's no worries at all. This webinar is definitely guaranteed to deliver content and to help you nonetheless. So thank you so much to everyone for being here. So if you're wondering if you are watching the right webinar, let's clarify a couple of things to make sure that you are. This webinar is for you if you are a heart-centered online entrepreneur with a desire to develop rock-solid confidence in yourself and your abilities, gain vibrant online visibility even in a crowded online marketplace, build authoritative credibility as the go-to expert in your field, and generate greater profitability with a roster full of paying clients. So if you can relate or if you fit any of those descriptions, you are indeed watching the right webinar, and this is the webinar for you. Before I dive into the content, I thought it would be nice of me to introduce myself properly. Those of you who have been following me, who are a part of my tribe, you know who I am. I hope you know what I do, and I hope you know why I do it. But just in case you don't, I always feel that it's a good thing to let you know, again, and especially there may be folks hopping on the webinar who I am new to, and they may not know who I am. So before we dig any deeper into content, let me tell you a little bit about my backstory and how I came to be an online entrepreneur and how I discovered what my true calling was. So during the year of 2011, it was May of 2011, and I was working as a licensed massage therapist at the time. A couple of years prior to that, I had obtained my second master's degree in clinical psychology, and before that, I had obtained my first master's degree in education. And while I worked briefly in both of those areas, by the time I got into clinical psychology and doing clinical work in that capacity, I got really burnt out, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I just felt very drained and burnt out. So I made the decision to go into massage therapy. So I enrolled in a program, got my license, and by 2010, during the spring of 2010, I was licensed by the state of Connecticut. I opened up my own practice, and I was also working for a day spa at the time. And life was pretty good back then. I felt like on top of the world. I had sort of just rebounded from going through this complete, breakdown of having worked in clinical psychology for a while. And I felt like I was really starting to feel my own again, sort of rebuilding my life, found massage therapy as a career alternative. And I truly loved it. I was really passionate about the work I was doing. And everything seemed to be falling into place. And that is until I was on my way home. It was May of 2011, and I was driving home from the day spa where I was working. And I was hit on the highway while on my way home by a truck that sideswiped the driver's side of my car and pushed me into the right lane. And at the time, I had so much adrenaline running through me that I didn't even believe that I was injured. I didn't see any physical signs of injury, so I didn't feel like I needed to pursue like going to the hospital or anything like that evening. In fact, I had so much adrenaline running through me that when this person hit me and kept going, I actually floored it and wound up stopping him, all while I had called the state police on my Bluetooth, and they were soon on the scene. But I had so much adrenaline running through me that, again, I didn't see blood, I didn't see bones. I figured I was okay. I would go home, put a little ice, put a little heat, take a shower, take a little ibuprofen, and I would be fine. Well, the very next day, I woke up and I could barely move. My neck and my left shoulder were in a complete spasm. I could barely move, and I was scared. I didn't know, what to do. The rational part of me said, oh, you're going to be fine. Just take a little ibuprofen, yeah, go see a doctor, maybe get into some physical therapy, let work know you're in an accident, you probably can't go to work today. But underneath all that, there was a bit of fear that was starting to kind of surface. Like, but the day before I was absolutely fine. Here I was waking up and feeling completely stiff and feeling completely out of sorts and really not sure where I was going to go next. So long story short, I went that day to the doctor's office, and I was diagnosed with a cervical sprain and, muscular, stuff that was related to having been in an automobile accident. So I went into physical therapy with the intention of, getting better very quickly. And I had every intention in the world to return back to my career as a massage therapist. And in fact, when I got done with physical therapy that day, I was crushed when the physical therapist said to me, I'm going to need to put you out of work for at least 2 weeks. And at the time, I know 2 weeks doesn't seem like a lot, but for someone like me who was used to going and used to just moving through life day to day, just going and not really having to stop and pause and be concerned about health issues or physical issues, 2 weeks felt like an eternity to me. It really did. I wasn't used to sitting still. I wasn't used to not working. And it was a really trying time for me. And to top it all off, I actually didn't get better during those 2 weeks. I thought I would have been better at that point, but I wasn't. In fact, I was starting to feel a bit concerned, what was wrong? Was there something that the doctors were missing? Was there something that the physical therapist was missing? Because I wasn't feeling 100%, even after 2 weeks of physical therapy and bed rest. Nonetheless, I decided to go back to work, or I should say attempted to go back to work at the day spa. And I was in for a big surprise. I went back to work that day, about 2.5 weeks after the initial accident. And when I went to perform my first massage of the day, I placed my hands onto my client's back. And as I started to, proceed to go through the massage and do the strokes of what I was about to do, I had this deep, shooting, agonizing, like sting radiate all the way from my left fingertips up into the back of my neck. And I was scared. I was so scared because I had never felt that sensation before, number one. But number two, my mind all of a sudden started to panic, like what was happening to my body. Oh my God, like, was this going to stop? Was this going to keep going? What if, right? And all of a sudden I started to get a bit anxious. And I wanted to be professional. So somehow, by the grace of God, I sucked it up and kind of got through that massage. But I had tears in my eyes the entire time. I was scared the entire time. I was barely using my left arm the entire time. And when I got done, I went into the bathroom and cried a bit more. I was still in a lot of discomfort. I went to my boss after and I said, look, I don't know what to do. I, and I described the sensation I was having, and I said, I don't know if I should be out of work for a bit longer. I said, but I'm really scared, I don't want to risk, losing my job. And she was really great about it. She said, I need you to take the time off to heal. You can't be here if you can't perform up to your fullest, potential. And I said, okay, I understand. And I left that day, but I was scared. I got in the car and I cried and I called the doctor and I said, I don't know what happened, but this is what I just experienced. And again, he said to me, okay, well, maybe you're just not ready. We'll put you out again for another 2 weeks. And so at that, my heart sank a little bit more. But the reason why I'm telling you all of this back end is because I feel like it's really important for you to understand where I've been and where I come from and why I'm so incredibly passionate about what I do and why I do it. So that is why I'm telling you the story about how I became an online entrepreneur. So upon being put out of work for the next 2 weeks, I have to say that was a really trying time. So it made the first 2 weeks look like a piece of cake, because at this point now, I feel like I wasn't getting better. There was something that the doctors were missing. There was something that the physical therapists were missing. There was something wrong. And if I couldn't go back to work, I didn't know what I was going to do. And again, even though I had the 2 master's degrees, like I said earlier, none of that mattered because I was truly passionate about massage therapy. And I had, my own practice that I was just starting to grow. I had to cancel all of those appointments. And, fast forward, a month turned into 2 months, 2 months turned into 3 months. And before you know it, I was out of a job. I had closed my private practice, and I was no way even closer to being healed. And at this point, a complete depression had just settled in. And I felt lost, utterly lost at that time. I didn't know which end was up. I was scared. I was physically, not myself. I was emotionally not myself because, as you know, there's that mind-body connection. And what followed were really a succession of just what I would call a couple of dark years. I battled with my insurance companies to get the test I needed for my neck and my shoulder, and came up empty-handed on several occasions and was told that, either it was in my head or, I just needed time to take it easy. I was told everything in the book. I was misdiagnosed by people. The whole thing was really just a big mess. And all the while, I felt myself sinking further and further into depression and feeling utterly helpless, utterly hopeless and lost. And because I didn't feel good about myself, and because I felt like I had lost the things that were important to me, I settled and I took mediocre, crappy, minimum wage jobs because I was so afraid of not, number one, having an income of any kind, but also of just being like alone and stagnant and not knowing what to do with myself. I had spent a great deal of time working out prior to this. I had spent a great deal of time working prior to this, and now I couldn't do those two things. And those two things were my livelihood. Um, so I kid you not, um, 2 master's degrees in all, I went and applied for a job as a telemarketer. And I tell that story, and if you've heard me say this before, I do apologize, but yes, I took the job as a telemarketer at the age of 33, 2 master's degrees, a license in massage therapy. It didn't matter, didn't care. I felt so badly about myself that I thought that was the best I could do. So I took this crappy job where I was mistreated every single night, on the phone by the people I was harassing, by the boss that I had, by coworkers that were just not kind. And basically, I mean, life sucked. Life sucked for me at that point. I knew that I was not living up to my fullest potential. I knew that I was not living an empowered life. But again, because the depression was there, because I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, I had settled. And I have to say, settling, my friends, will never get you any further than where you are. And so to fast forward even further, I actually got fired from that job. And I got in the car and I cried. I cried my eyes out. And again, because I wasn't feeling good about myself, I looked in the mirror and I said some pretty awful things to myself at that time. Kind of things like, you're such a loser, you're such a failure. How could you get fired from a telemarketing job? Like, who gets fired from telemarketing? I mean, these are the things I was saying to myself when I got in the car that day. And my self-esteem was pretty low. It was pretty shot. I picked up the pieces. I kind of wiped away the tears and, just got on the bandwagon and started looking around, trying to find other jobs. And I bounced through a couple of other, soul-sucking, mindless, brainless, task-oriented jobs, and finally wound up working for a gym as a desk receptionist. And although that sounds more glamorous than telemarketing, it really wasn't. It was a little bit more fun and a little bit more interactive, but it was still a minimum wage job, no health insurance, no benefits, working nights, working weekends, working holidays. And it wasn't where I was shining. It wasn't where I was meant to be. I guess for the time that I was there, it was meant for me. But in hindsight now, from where I was to where I am, I know that I was not living up to my fullest potential. And it wasn't until one day that a patron who had come into the gym, and I'd gotten to know her really well, stopped me over in the bathroom where I was actually cleaning the ladies' restroom. And yes, that was part of my job duty as a desk clerk. My job responsibilities included, at the end of the evening, going into the ladies' restroom and emptying trash receptacles and sanitary napkin receptacles and, not really glamorous work. And I had kind of settled for that. I was like, well, this is okay. It didn't matter. I was educated, didn't matter. I kind of had just settled. And she looked at me and she said, Lisa, what are you doing? And I kind of paused and I stopped and I looked at her and said, well, I'm cleaning the bathroom stalls. What does it look like I'm doing? And she looked at me again and she said, no, what are you doing? And again, I looked at her and I kind of chuckled a bit and I said, I'm cleaning the toilets. Like, do you want to help? kind of jokingly. And the third time, she said to me with this piercing glance and this stare that kind of penetrated my soul. And she said to me, I mean, what are you doing with your life? And I have to tell you, oh my God, my heart nearly stopped beating when she said that to me. And for the first time in nearly 2 years since that accident, someone had the courage to call me out on my own bullshit. Someone had the courage to call me out and said, what are you doing with your life? And she said these very words to me, you are wasting your time here. She said, you are gifted. You are meant to be helping other people. You are meant to be doing so much more. Why are you settling? Why are you here working for minimum wage every night, every weekend, doing a job that someone with a high school degree could do? And that's exactly what she said to me. And I remember it as if it was just yesterday. And that day was the day, my friends, that I decided to reclaim my personal power and to finally start living an empowered life for myself. Was it easy? Absolutely not. Were there hiccups along the way? Absolutely. But had that woman not stopped me, and had she not called me out of my own bullshit, perhaps I would have still been there, cleaning up bathrooms at the end of the night. And so that is why I am so incredibly impassioned about what I do and why I want to spend the rest of my life empowering other women to live up to their greatest potential. And as an online coach, my role is to facilitate change and to help you live up to your highest potential and to motivate you so that you can motivate yourself. That is where I see my role. And that is how I have effectively empowered the clients that have come in the past, and in the clients I'm working with currently, and in those that I'll work with in the future. This, for me, my friends, is a divine calling. This is a divine mission. This is not another job. This is my life's work. And I absolutely love what I do. And more specifically, I love even more helping women to become confident and then teaching them strategies that work and how to position themselves in the online marketplace. Those are my areas of expertise. And at the end of the day, when I know I've had an impact on another person's life, that's what it's all about for me. That is why I am here with you today. So thank you for listening if you're still hanging with me. But I had to share that truth with you. I had to have you understand where I'm coming from. So now that you know, let's move on to the presentation. So, developing rock solid confidence. This is by and large the most important element of having a successful life and a successful business. Because if you are not confident in yourself and in your abilities, nobody else will be. That I can tell you from experience. That I can tell you from having gone through the things that I've gone through in my life. So how do you become confident? Well, it begins by forgiving yourself, overcoming self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviors. It comes from having the courage to break through fear, which is nothing more than false evidence appearing real. It comes from developing a positive mindset and implementing a daily positive mindset practice. These are the ways that you develop confidence. These are the ways that I myself have developed confidence and overcome the stuff that I've gone through in the past. These are the elements that I work with when I'm engaging with clients. And this is the foundation for a successful life and business. Once you've got the confidence down pat, You then are able and capable of moving into this online marketplace and not just showing up, but actually gaining vibrant online visibility. There's a difference in just showing up and being vibrant and standing out. And how do you do that? You do that by staying true to your core beliefs, aligning your purpose with your passion, finding your authentic voice in a crowded online marketplace. I know it's crowded out there, guys, but it doesn't mean that you cannot stand out as the go-to expert in your field. You can do it with the right phrasing, with the right wording, with the way that you stay true to who you are at the core of your being. You can do this. And when you've got the confidence, you then have the courage to put yourself out there on social media. And again, these are things I've done for myself. These are things I do with my clients. And after all that, you've got to have strategies that actually work. There's a big difference between playing around on social media and actually utilizing strategies that have been proven to work. Clients I've worked with, they know. Clients I'm currently working with, they know. You've got to have strategies that work. Once you've got the confidence and once you've got the visibility, now you've got to start building credibility. Why? Because people are more likely to engage and eventually become buying customers when they know, like, and trust you. And there is no other way that they can do that unless you have credibility. And you build credibility by knowing what you are truly good at and sticking with it, knowing how to identify your clients' problems and struggles, and providing solutions that work. Once you're able to do this, you can then have social proof that backs up what you say and do. This and all of these things are the elements of building authoritative credibility. You can get client testimonials once you've started to work with them. These are very, very powerful signs of social proof. When you have, worked with a few people and even hired your own coach or started to work with people who are a few steps ahead of you, you can get endorsements from people who are leaders in your industry. These by and far these things are like irreplaceable. You can't even put a price tag on how important it is to build up the credibility, to have the endorsements, to have the testimonials. And how do you do that? Well, you can utilize what I do in the expert post, and I'll explain what that is in just a minute. But there's a million ways to do this. And these are just some of the areas that I'm going to be diving into even deeper as we continue to move ahead. So as much as we may not want to talk about profits, or maybe you do want to talk about profits, it's a natural transition, right? You start in an online business because at the end of the day, yes, you want to make a huge impact in people's lives, but you also want to be able to generate profit for your business, for yourself. You've got bills to pay. I've got bills to pay. This is a natural progression. You're building up your confidence. You're building up your visibility. You're building up your credibility. So what do you want to do with that, right? You're going to provide solutions for people. You're going to offer things to people. But here's the thing. You do not have to sell your soul to make a sale. I am living proof of that. My clients are living proof of that. They are all heart-centered and aligned with who they are. They're not out there being salesy and sleazy and all of that. Nothing could be further from the truth. Here's the thing. You don't even have to like sales, but you've got to get good and you've got to get comfortable at having those discussions with your potential customers and clients. And how do you do that? Well, first, you give away tons of value for free. Yes, for free. You don't go into any relationship with a potential customer or client with the intention of selling them something automatically. Not going to happen. What you do is you build a rapport, you build up a trust by connecting with people online, by offering to hop on a quick phone call for a quick chat. You show people that you care to engage in conversation online. And when you do this, you build solid relationships without having to pitch anything. And when you take the time to understand what your potential customers and clients are struggling with, and then you take the time to create valuable services and solutions to help them, that is where the magic happens. That is where profits become second nature. So just a quick recap, guys. You've got the confidence going. You've got the visibility going. You're building credibility. Now it's time to start bringing home the profits that you deserve for all of the hard work that you're putting in and day out. And what if I told you that you could have it all? You could have rock solid confidence. You could have vibrant online visibility. You could have authoritative credibility. You could have greater profitability. How would that make you feel? How would your life be different? What worries would you leave behind? What problems would you solve? Think about these things. And if you want, we can pause for a couple of minutes and just, if you've got a piece of paper and a pen, jot down a couple of things right now. I mean, really ask yourself, what if you could have it all? Confidence, visibility, credibility, profits, profitability. How would you feel? How would your life be different? What worries would you leave behind? What problems would you solve for yourself and other people? Pretty powerful stuff when you stop and think about it. And for the sake of time, I'm going to continue moving forward. But if you're watching the replay, you might want to hit pause and really consider your answers to these questions. Because I can tell you that since I've become an online entrepreneur and since I've taken ownership of my life and my business, I feel pretty freaking amazing. And my life is completely different from where it was just 2 years ago, 3 years ago. A lot of the worries that I had, they're completely gone. And you know what? Problem solving, that's my game. I love doing that. I love doing that for myself and for my clients. So give yourselves just a couple of minutes and really think about your answers to these questions. And what if I told you, now that you've had a couple of minutes to think about your responses to those questions, that you really can have it all by learning how to develop rock solid confidence in yourself and your abilities, by becoming vibrantly visible online, by building this authoritative credibility online, and by generating greater profitabilities. Yes, my friends, you can have it all by learning how to implement these 4 pillars right here. These are the things I do for myself. These are the things I do for my clients. And these are the things that I am willing to do for you. Which brings me to the most exciting part of this webinar. It has been 6 months in the making, and now it is time to share with the world my newest brainchild, the Time to Shine Online Academy. Yes, my friends, I have been working nonstop behind the scenes these past several months to create a program unlike any other out there for online women entrepreneurs who are ready to show up confidently, gain vibrant online visibility, build authoritative credibility, and generate greater profitability. And I have asked, I have polled, I have questioned numerous online women entrepreneurs, asking them what they wanted, what they needed. And this is the result of those responses. So, what is the Time to Shine Online Academy? Hang tight, and I'm going to go through and tell you exactly what it is and exactly what you're going to get. So, this is not just another cookie cutter coaching program. No, my friends, this is an 8-week transformational and epic coaching experience. It's a customized spiritual blueprint in which I work with you step by step in both individual and group coaching calls so that you can ultimately have the life and business you've always desired. And when you decide that you are ready for the Time to Shine Online Academy, this is what you can expect as a result of working with me in this 8-week intensive program. The ability to overcome self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviors, the courage to break through your biggest fears, the ability to develop a positive mindset that sets you on the path to personal and professional success, and the satisfaction of aligning your purpose and passion for your life and business. You will also have the gift of finding your authentic voice in an ever-changing world, a crystal clear vision about your future, and the spiritual blueprint to make it happen. You will have a positive mindset that enables you to make that transition from being an invisible wallflower to an online superstar. Those of you who have participated in this 5-day challenge know how far you've come in just 5 days. Imagine in 8 weeks how far you could go in your online business. You're also going to have the ability to have that rock solid confidence in yourself and your abilities, which I've been talking about throughout this webinar. And as if that wasn't enough, you're going to learn and you're going to know how to have courage to put yourself out there on social media without fear of rejection. You're going to have the knowledge of how to implement an online visibility strategy that helps you stand out as the go-to expert in your field. You're also going to have the ability to effectively use social media and efficiently use it without feeling overwhelmed. Yes, these are the things I teach my clients. These are the things I implement in my own business every single day. And these are the reasons why I'm successful. These are the reasons why my clients are successful. And these are the reasons why you will be successful as well. And I told you, you were going to get a lot, and there is more. So when you sign up for the Time to Shine Online Academy, you're going to have the opportunity to build a community of loyal fans who convert to paying clients effortlessly. You're going to have the resiliency to deal with setbacks and to bounce back quicker than before. You will also have the motivation to keep going over the long haul. Yes, these are the results you will have when you decide that this is the time for you to shine online. So what exactly is included, right? So you've just heard of all the amazing benefits of what you're going to get when you come through the Time to Shine Online Academy. But what is really involved? How is it going to happen? How does it go down? Well, as I said before, this is an 8-week transformational coaching experience. Yes, 8 weeks long. in which you will have the accountability and support you need to create and manifest the life and business you most desire. You will have 3 individual 50-minute coaching sessions with me, along with 16, count them, 16 group coaching calls. That's 2 calls per week for 8 weeks, for a total combination of 19 coaching calls. It's absolutely absurd, especially when I tell you what the current offer is, which I'll go into in just a minute, but 19 coaching calls over 8 weeks and access to an intimate and exclusive mastermind Facebook group where I will be there every step of the way, answering your questions, showing up, being visible. This is where my energy and my focus will be during these 8 weeks. So briefly, let me go over a couple of questions that I know some of you are probably asking yourself right now. How many women will be in this program? 12. That is it. I am capping the program at 12 because I want to be there wholeheartedly for my clients every single step of the way. Therefore, this will be an intimate group setting. 12 women, and that's it. We're not going up above, we're not going below. 12 is the ideal number, so space is definitely limited. What is the current investment? I'm so glad you asked, because from now until Wednesday, September 28th, you can sign up for the early bird rate of only $9.97. Yes, $9.97. That's it. For 8 weeks of life-changing transformational coaching. 8 weeks, 3 individual calls, 16 group calls. The current rate is $9.97. That's it. And as of Wednesday, September 28th, 2016, that rate will disappear and it will become $12.97. So you can do yourself a favor right now by jumping on right after this webinar and going to the link that I will provide and signing up, because whichever comes first, if I get 12 women in at $9.97, then the program is closed until I launch it again. If we still have a few spaces left by Wednesday, which I doubt we will, you're certainly welcome to grab one of them. But if you don't do it before Wednesday, I can guarantee you the price will go up by $300, and it will be from $9.97 to $12.97. As I said, I will be providing a link for you to sign up at the end of this webinar if you are ready and you know this is the program for you. I've already gone over what the early bird rate is and when it will expire. That is September 28th at 11:59 p.m. That is when that rate of $9.97 will disappear. And if those spots fill up first and those 12 spots are gone within the next, several days or even hours, then you will be put on a wait list, which means you will not get the chance to do this program again until 2017. That is the next time I will be launching this program. So if you know that this program is for you and you know this is the program you absolutely need, I highly, highly encourage you to hop on this offer right now. And yes, I do offer a payment plan. And if you are someone who is on the fence because you think you can't come up with the $9.97 right now, we need to talk. We can set up a payment plan. Okay, I get it. People have different needs. I understand that. But I would not want you to pass up on this opportunity simply because of not having the funds to pay up front. we can work out a payment plan. I promise you that. So if you still have more questions regarding the Time to Shine Online Academy after having gone through this entire webinar, I encourage you to sign up for a 15-minute Time to Shine Online discovery call with me today. The link is provided below. Please pause the webinar that you are watching, copy this link down, and get on my calendar between now and Wednesday. So if you want to take advantage of this early bird rate, you can. Copy down that link, put it in your browser, go there and book your call now. I've opened up my calendar for additional spots. I've already got some calls going. I've already got several people who are interested in the program, and I don't want you to miss out. So you've got to hop on. If you know the program is for you, awesome. I'm going to give you the link to go to right now. If you have questions or you want to work out a payment plan or whatever it is, get this link, copy it right now, put it in your browser, and get on my calendar before Wednesday. And just to let you know, I ran this program briefly as a pilot program back in the summer of 2016, and at that time it was a 6-week program, and I had 6 amazing women who showed up. And these women have been raving about the program ever since. And so I wanted just to share with you this testimonial by my dear client, Karen, who is a creative director and brand designer. She grew by leaps and bounds with this program. And I am so honored that she was a part of this program for the pilot run. And she's just one of 6 who are raving about the program. And take a few minutes, read her testimonial. You can even visit her on Facebook, check her out. She's an amazing person. And then I wanted to share with you another testimonial. This is from my dear client, Jennifer, who is an intuitive transformational coach. She is someone who also, she wasn't ready when we began, but she was ready by the time we finished. And she gained so much clarity around what she was doing with her business. And again, guys, these are just 2 testimonials I'm sharing with you, but I've got 4 others to back them up. And I'll be releasing them, in the next several days through emails and through Facebook posts and such. But I wanted you to hear from at least 2 women who have gone through this program, who can attest to this program. And that was before I even made the changes and the updates and the upgrades to it. So it was a 6-week program then it's an 8-week program now. It's jam-packed full of content that you need, but that is also easily digested, okay? And I am not just gonna drip the content to you. I am not just going to put it in an email and leave you hanging on your own to figure it out. No, how that is not how I operate as a coach. What we'll do during our group coaching calls is I will be reviewing all of the material with you. I will be helping you to break it down. And then we'll have a follow-up call during that same week in which you get to ask me anything about that week's lessons. And not to mention the individual sessions that we're going to be having probably around week 3, week 5, and again at the end of week 8. That is where we truly make the magic happen. It's taking all of the group stuff we're doing and really honing it and fine-tuning it to fit your unique needs. Take a moment, guys. If you have to rewind this and go back and just listen to what I had to say, listen to what Karen said, listen to what Jennifer is saying right here. I strongly encourage you. Space is limited. I promise you that. I will not take more than 12 women for this round of the Time to Shine Online Academy. And I want you to grab your spot now if you know this is the program for you. And I have just gone through everything that I can possibly give you, all of the benefits, all of the results, how we're going to do it. And if you know you are ready and you don't want to waste another second, you can go to this link right here on this slide. Click on that link, my friends. You will be brought right to the page where you can check out and secure your spot. Now, just remember this introductory early bird offer of $9.97 for the entire 8-week program expires on Wednesday, September 28th, 2016 at 11:59 p.m. After that, the price goes up to $12.97, and space is going to be incredibly limited at that point. I can promise you that. I've already got several women who are interested. I've got calls booked today, and I don't want you to miss out on this incredible and transformational journey. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout this entire presentation. Again, if you have any questions, concerns, anything I've gone over about the program, when it's launching, all of that, please reach out to me. Reach out to me with the link I provided to you. Reach out to me on Facebook. Reach out to me. I am here to answer your questions. I am here to guide you to make the best possible decision for yourself. Thank you so much to all of you who have stayed with me. Thank you to the women of the Confidence Hub. Thank you to the women who have participated in the challenge. You are all incredible. You are all amazing, and I cannot wait to extend this journey with you. Thank you so much. Love you all. Take good care. Bye-bye.